Hey everyone, welcome back to Cracking the GRE Math Subject Test. This is Calculus 2. We're on question number 29. So in this question we're asked to evaluate this double integral. And the first thing we should notice is that this square root of x squared plus y squared, that's a big hint to switch over to polar coordinates. Remember, in polar coordinates we have r squared equals x squared plus y squared. So that integrand is just going to be r. And we just have to figure out what the limits of integration are going to be now. So this whole integral is going to be r times, now in polar coordinates dx dy is going to be r dr d theta. Okay, and we have to figure out what our limits are going to be for r and for theta. So let's try to draw what the area that we're integrating over is. So if we look at x equals negative square root of 2ay minus y squared, well, if we square both sides and then add y squared, we'll get x squared plus y squared. You can get minus 2ay, I'm going to leave some room, equals 0. But I'm going to complete the square here. So if I add a squared and a squared to both sides, then this becomes x squared plus y minus a squared equals a squared. And this is just the equation of the circle whose center is at a, y equals a, x, y, and who has a radius of a. So it looks something like this. Okay, this is a, and up here it's 2a. So and since we're taking from the negative square root of 2ay minus y squared, that's going to be this area right here. So if we want to convert this to polar coordinates, well, theta is going to go from pi over 2 to pi. And then if we want to rewrite this in polar coordinates, then we have to write, well, let's see, what's our equation going to be? X squared is, well, actually we can use this here. We get x is r cosine theta. And then that's going to equal the square root of 2a r sine theta is y, minus y squared, which is r squared sine squared theta. Well, we want to solve this so for r in terms of theta. So if we square both sides, we get r squared cosine theta, cosine squared theta. And I'm going to bring the r squared sine theta over. So plus r squared sine squared theta equals 2a r sine theta. Well, remember that cosine squared plus sine squared is 1. So this gives us r squared equals 2a r sine theta. The r's cancel out. We'll get r equals 2a sine theta. So the limits of integration for r are going to be from 0 to 2a sine theta. Okay. Alright, so now we're ready to integrate. I'm just going to write this as r squared instead of r times r. Let's erase this. Okay, so we have r squared and dr d theta. So this is going to be 1/3 r cubed. So I'm going to take the 1/3 out here. I'm integrating theta from pi over 2 to pi, and 1/3 r cubed. So I'm going to substitute now 2a sine theta for r. So I'm going to get 8a cubed sine cubed theta. So I'm going to pull the 8a cubed out because it's a constant. And I end up with just sine cubed theta d theta. The 0 just cancels out because sine of 0 is 0. So this is my integral. Now what's the integral of sine cubed? Well, we can write sine cubed as, let's do some scratch work on the side here. Sine cubed is equal to sine squared times sine, which is equal to 1 minus cosine squared times sine, which is good because then we can do a substitution. If we say u equals cosine theta, then du equals negative sine theta d theta. So we can rewrite this integral as, we got the 8a cubed over 3 outside, and then here, instead of sine cubed, we're going to write 1 minus u squared. Well, actually, the d theta is going to be du over negative sine theta. So this sign is going to cancel out, and we're going to have a negative, so it's going to give us u squared minus 1. Which we have to integrate. So that's actually going to be u cubed over 3 minus u. And now let's change our limits of integration from theta to u. So if u is cosine theta, then when theta is pi over 2, u is going to be cosine of pi over 2, which is 0. And when theta is pi, cosine of pi is going to be negative 1. So what does this get us? 8a cubed over 3 times negative 1 cubed is negative 1 over 3. It's negative 1/3 minus a negative 1, so that's like plus 1. Negative 1/3 plus 1 is 2/3. So 2/3 times 8a cubed over 3 is going to give us 16a cubed over 9, which is answer A.